Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about a secret superfruit. Seriously, it's been a huge deal in China for thousands of years, but you've probably never even heard of it, let alone tasted one. We're going to find out why.
So let's start with the big question that's going to guide us through this whole thing. How can one of China's most popular fruits, with this incredible history and amazing health benefits, be almost a complete unknown to pretty much everyone else?
All right, to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to go back to the beginning. We need to figure out what this fruit even is, what people call it, and just how deep its roots go in East Asian history.
Okay, first things first, this fruit has a bit of an identity crisis, at least in English. In China, it's Yangmei. In Japan, Yamamomo. But here, you might hear it called Chinese bayberry, yumberry, waxberry, even Chinese strawberry. All these names are actually our first clue to just how significant this fruit really is.
And its history is just staggering. I mean, this is not some new hybrid fruit. Archaeologists have found traces of it from 7,000 years ago. People officially started farming it over 2,000 years back. And by the time of the Ming Dynasty, it was already famous enough to be included in major medical texts.
And this quote right here from one of the most important books in traditional Chinese medicine really tells you something. For centuries, the Yangmei wasn't just a sweet treat. It was considered medicine, valued for its health benefits long before we ever came up with the word superfruit.
Okay, so to really appreciate the fruit, we actually have to get a little nerdy and talk about the tree it grows on. Because the tree, Myrica rubra, is pretty remarkable all on its own.
So scientifically, it's part of the Myrica family. Now, this family has around 50 species, and a lot of them are known for the wax on their berries, like the wax myrtle that people literally use to make candles. But Myrica rubra is the superstar of the family. It's the only one that's grown on a huge commercial scale just for its amazing edible fruit.
So the tree itself is this gorgeous evergreen. But for our story, two things are really important here. First, it's something called dioecious, which is a fancy way of saying you need separate male and female trees to get fruit. And second, it loves terrible soil. It actually does best in poor, acidic dirt where other plants might struggle. And it can do that because it has a hidden superpower.
And this is its secret weapon. The tree teams up with a special bacteria in its roots. Together, they can pull nitrogen right out of the air and fix it into the soil, turning it into plant food. It's basically a natural built-in fertilizer factory. This means the tree can grow almost anywhere, and it actually makes the soil around it richer, which is a huge deal for things like reforestation.
Okay, enough about the tree. Let's get to the star of the show, the fruit itself. What's it actually like, and what makes it so special? So get this, despite all those names like bayberry, it's not a berry at all. Technically, it's a drupe. Just like a cherry or a plum, it has one single seed or pit right in the center. But the outside is what's so wild. It's not smooth skin. It's covered in these hundreds of tiny little stalks, which gives it this incredible, bumpy, slightly chewy texture that's unlike anything else. And when you look at the nutrition, wow, it's a total powerhouse. Just take vitamin C. As you can see, a Yangmei is right up there with a strawberry, and some varieties can have even more. But here is where it just blows everything else out of the water. Antioxidants, specifically anthocyanins. That's the stuff that gives fruits like blueberries their deep, rich color. Well, as you can see, the Yangmei's antioxidant levels aren't just a little higher, they completely dwarf blueberries and cranberries. It's not even close. And the crazy part is, it's not just a random mix of antioxidants. In the darkest, richest varieties, one single, incredibly powerful compound makes up more than 85% of the total. That concentration is what makes this fruit so nutritionally unique.
So, by now you've got to be asking yourself, if this fruit is so delicious, so healthy, and has been around forever, why isn't it in every grocery store? Well, this is where we get to the heart of the mystery. The Yangmei has a massive Achilles heel. Actually, it has two of them.
This is problem number one, and it is a huge one. 3 days. That's it. That is the absolute maximum shelf life you can expect from a fresh Yangmei fruit at room temperature. It is incredibly fragile and starts to spoil almost the second it's picked. And even if you pull out all the stops, perfect refrigeration, the whole high-tech shebang, the absolute best you can do is stretch that to about 12 days. That tiny window makes shipping it fresh across an ocean, well, it's a logistical nightmare. For a very long time, it was just impossible.
And if that wasn't bad enough, there's the pest problem. The spotted winged Drosophila is a real villain in the fruit world. Unlike most fruit flies that go for rotting fruit, This one attacks perfect, healthy, ripening fruit. And that unique bumpy skin we talked about, it's basically a 5-star hotel for these flies to lay their eggs, making it a massive headache for agriculture officials everywhere.
But, you don't grow a fruit for 7,000 years without learning a few tricks. When you're faced with something so delicious but so fragile, you get creative. People have come up with all sorts of ingenious ways to enjoy it.
And these methods are key. They'll quick freeze it, dry it into this amazing chewy snack, can it in syrup, even ferment it into wine. But for the rest of the world, the real game changer has been juicing. For a long, long time, the only way most of us could ever taste Yangmei was out of a bottle.
So, where does that leave us? With all this amazing history, but all these modern challenges, what's next for the Yangmei? Is it finally ready to break out and go global? Well, to give you a sense of the potential here, just look at this. Back in 2007, China was already growing Yangmei on twice the amount of land that the entire United States was using to grow apples. This is not a niche crop. It is an agricultural giant just waiting for a world stage.
And that journey west, it's happening, but man, has it been a slow burn. The tree first arrived in the US over a century ago, and then pretty much nothing happened for decades. The real action is happening right now, with universities and commercial farms in places like California finally cracking the code. Modern science is making it possible to grow these trees successfully outside of Asia.
The story of the Yangmei is such a cool reminder. It proves that even in our hyper-connected, globalized world, there are still these incredible tastes and amazing histories hidden right under our noses. It just makes you wonder, what other delicious secrets are still out there, just waiting to be discovered?